Lights dance across the velvet sky as the evening sky transforms into a canvas of glamour and whispers of silk and satin. The red carpet glows under the soft amber of grand chandeliers. The fashion world holds its breath tonight. Two stars emerge, Soo Kai and Tan Songyun. Step by step, they claim the scene, their presence electric, their poise magnetic. From the moment their silhouettes appear, the crowd leans forward, anticipation hanging in the air. Soo Kai arrives first, his suit tailored to perfection, jet black fabric shimmering under the lights, the cut sharp, the angles precise, the lapels sculpted with care. He pauses a moment at the edge of the carpet, his gaze scans the photographers, his lips curved in a subtle smile. Cameras flash like fireflies in a summer field, the sparkle reflects off his cufflinks, the sheen of his shoes polished to mirror perfection. A gentle breeze teases his hair, he tilts his head like a flawless portrait mid-creation. Tan Songyun steps alongside her companion, her gown a cascade of ivory silk layered with whispers of pearl. The fabric catches the light and shifts like moonlight across still waters, the bodice fitted with elegant restraint, the skirt billows behind her as though she carries a cloud, her hair swept back with minimalist grace, revealing the curve of her neck, the contour of her jaw, her eyes wide, luminous, a soft glow from the stage lights reflecting within them. They walk together, feet in sync as though rehearsed by stars, their energy in harmony, the crowd attentive, some with mouths open, others with pulses racing. As they move, the red carpet itself seems to quiver beneath their steps, the ink of cameras rolling across magazines, waiting to capture every fold of fabric, every angle of posture. The air smells of perfume mingled with excitement of possibility. Flashes burst in rhythmic beats, a rhythm to the march of lenses and shutters. Soo Kai stops briefly. He turns one shoulder to the crowd, a pose that slices through the glow, his jacket open, just enough to reveal the sharp line of his shirt collar, the tie knot snug and sleek, a sheen on his wristwatch catching light as though hiding a promise. Tan Songyun pauses, then she lifts one hand to her waist, the other draping fabric. The train of her gown spreads elegant waves behind her like water flowing past a stone. Her earrings catch a stray light, glinting like stars in a calm sky. The photographers converge, their voices hushed, cameras clicking in rapid succession. They murmur, "Who is she? What is she wearing? What designer stitched this masterpiece? What brand?" Whispered through each stitch, the audience gasps at her daring neckline, at his fine tailoring, the contrast sharp, her gentle curves against his strong shoulders, a visual symphony unfolding before their eyes. A breeze sweeps across the carpet, fabric responds to match the moment. Her gown lifts in soft ripples around her ankles, silk cascades like water, her steps measured, graceful. She glides, Soo Kai beside her, solid strength in his stance, a pillar of confidence. Lights overhead flare to warm gold, then cool white, casting shifting shadows upon the folds, the play of light and dark sculpting their forms as if each contour painted lovingly by a master. They reach the center stage, the arch of the venue frames them like mythic royalty. The cameras zoom in on Soo Kai, his expression calm determination. He lifts his chin slightly, a signature tilt that says, "I belong here." In this moment beside the limelight, Tan Songyun breathes in the energy, her posture regal, her smile soft, yet unashamed, her eyes shining with joy. She wears her gown not as garment, but as extension of self, a moving sculpture. In that moment the world seems to pause, time stretches, the seconds into eternity. The red carpet beneath them becomes runway, sky becomes stage, cameras become stars. She raises her chin, the pearls of her gown glowing under spotlights, as though each bead holds a universe. He shifts weight onto one foot, adjusting his cufflinks momentarily, a gesture so small yet so full of meaning. The crowd leans into that hush, whispers ripple through the assembled guests. Across the railings, fans lean forward, their hands outstretched, phones lifted high to capture memory fragments of this illusion of glamour, stopping time in digital frames, faces alight with admiration, hearts pounding with yearning. Some weep quietly at the sweep of her gown, her radiance. Others gasp at his sculpted profile, the sharp line of his jaw, his eyes focused forward, yet aware of every onlooker. An orchestra of lighting overhead crescendos, the flash of paparazzi bulbs, a staccato rhythm like thunder rolling lightly through a summer sky. They are gods and goddesses of fabric and form stepping through mortal chambers, the red carpet, not just walkway, but portal between ordinary world and realm of dreams. The gowns and suits woven into tales of artistry and daring. Kai reaches for Tan Songyun, hand brushing against her waist, not touching, only grazing the air between them, a spark invisible, but potent enough to ignite murmurs among candlelit tables backstage. The seamstresses watch their mastery hailed on that carpet. The stylists nod, secretly satisfied. The makeup artists hold their breath at how skin glows, how cheekbones catch the light. She turns her head sideways, hair sweeping like liquid silk across her shoulder. She looks toward the crowd, her eyes bright as polished gems. She gives a gentle smile that blooms across her face, soft, warm, inviting the world beyond. Dim in comparison, he watches her for a heartbeat, as though memorizing the arch of her brow, the slope. The velvet stretch of the red carpet had already seen royalty, models, idols, and designers. It had felt the weight of diamonds, the hush of lace, the sharp echo of stiletto heels. But nothing prepared it for the breathtaking arrival of Kai and Tan Songyun. Even now, hours after their passage, the carpet still seemed to hold the imprint of their footsteps. The crowd still murmured in disbelief. The cameras still hummed, desperate to replay the moment again and again. It wasn't just a walk. It was a collision of galaxies. Kai stood at the top of the carpet, like a myth reborn. Clad in a suit that whispered secrets of a bespoke atelier in Milan, he radiated a quiet storm. His black velvet blazer shimmered under the chandeliers, catching glints of gold as he moved. But it was not just the suit, it was the way he wore it. With a subtle defiance, with grace, like he owned the space he stood on and everything it touched. And then she appeared. Tan Songyun did not walk down the carpet, she floated. Draped in a custom gown of moon-white silk, so delicate it threatened to disappear under the lights, she moved as if carried by something more than her own feet. The bodice of her gown clung to her like a whispered secret, every stitch carved to perfection. As she descended the stairs, the fabric fluttered around her like soft fog rolling across a mountaintop at dawn. The photographers, hardened by hundreds of high-profile arrivals, fell into a hush. Even the veteran camera operators, the ones who had filmed 100 fashion galas, whispered, This is something different." A gust of wind, perfectly timed by fate, lifted the train of Tan Songyun's gown behind her. It rose like a silver wave, curling and cascading in the air before gently falling back. She paused, one hand lightly grazing her waist, the other lifting the hem just enough to reveal a single glimmering heel. A heel that sparkled with tiny embedded stones, not too flashy, just enough to catch the eye. Kai, watching from below, tilted his head slightly, just enough to let his gaze meet hers. And for a moment, just a flicker, the world held its breath. A single heartbeat passed, and then they began to walk, side by side. Every step was choreographed by nature and elegance. Kai's hand hovered close to her back, not touching, just there. Protective. Present. Tan Songyun's steps were soft, deliberate. Each movement a stanza in an unwritten poem. The crowd couldn't look away. Behind the velvet ropes, fashion critics leaned in. Stylists scribbled furiously. Even influencers, usually lost in their phones, stood still with wide eyes. "I've never seen energy like that," whispered one Vogue editor. "It's not just fashion. It's theater. It's romance. It's history." And indeed it was. As they reached the middle stretch of the carpet, the part reserved for the iconic freeze frames, Kai stopped. Ever so slightly. Just long enough for her to take one step ahead. The crowd gasped. For in that second, Tan Songyun stood alone, her silhouette bathed in golden light. Its tail. Cameras clicked. The scene froze in perfection. A living portrait. Then Kai stepped forward beside her again. And, together, they turned to face the cameras. He adjusted his cuff with a slow, precise motion. She offered a soft, tilting her chin in a way that made the chandelier lights dance her cheekbones. Their didn't need to. It whispered. It simmered. It commanded. Romance Central, present on site, described the most captivating red carpet chemistry in the history of Fashion Week. Once again, from all of us at K-Romance Central, thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story touched your heart, if it made you believe in love again, or if you just want to stay updated on every twist in this breathtaking saga, backhand index pointing right, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button for more juicy K-drama updates. Because this is K-Romance Central, and here, we don't just report stories. We bring the romance to life. Sparkling Heart.